the
Oh
March
yeah.
Madness
Well,
group.
Ryan said we were gonna talk
I
major.
wanted to clarify that. Like, how far y'all want to take it? Like, we can have fun with it just as long as no one gets hurt feelings. Because I'm like Jake, that was like a 5.6 on the scale, which you put up, and I'm
Hmm.
like, bro, we could go so much further than that. I mean,
Is that all
It's
you
the,
got, Jake?
it's the perks of having no HR department in the office,
yep.
right?
I mean, we can go total Les Grossman on this deal, and we can get it done. I mean, it could be a lot of. I just, I'll make sure no one gets their feelings hurt.
Yeah, who are the criers?
Wow.
It's going to get interesting.
Pretty
Wow.
sure, pretty sure I nailed that bracket though, 100%. I'll probably just
100%.
retire after March Madness because all
I'd
the
say
money will win.
you'll be done by like 2:30 this afternoon, Jake. That's what it's going to
Yeah,
look like.
100%.
You
Every
and
year I'm like,
Hannah both.
this is
Yeah,
gonna nail it, and then I'm like, I missed half of them.
that's funny.
Well, I don't see Rustlin on here, so I'm going to take a guess. If she joins us, and we'll plug her in and tag her back into the leadership
Mhm.
role there. Um, and I know she's been traveling, she's been doing some stuff. So, I did text her last night, but her time zones may be all kind of flipped around too. So, um, we'll just have some grace and know that she's obviously got something else going on. So, question for you though. Let me ask you this. I do want, if I can, everybody who can respond, please respond. There's only 9 of us on here. So, let's interact the best we can. How, on a scale of 1 to 10, one being this is awful, this stinks, everything's so bad, 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 number one, or 10, this is amazing, everything's great, life is great, great, great. So 1 to 10, where are we feeling about business and about the market? Maybe those are two numbers, but if you can lump them into one, that'd be great. How do we feel about where you're at right now? Jake, we'll start with you. 1 to 10.
This year I'd say like an 8.
An eight
It's
so far? Okay.
Yeah, it's been a lot. I've got a lot in the pipeline. I had $1 million February, which I've never had $1 million February.
Nice, Jake.
So that's always nice. Usually I look at my first quarter and I'm like, man, I'm never going to hit my goal. And then second and third quarter are good. But this year, my first quarter is going to be one of the better ones I've had, I think, ever.
Awesome.
So that'll be good.
How was your fourth quarter last year? Was it better or normal or
We're not going to talk about last year.
okay? I was just wondering how it
I
leads,
mean, it was fine. I don't think it was anything special, but it wasn't terrible.
Okay. Well, I'm just wondering, did you do different things and different activities in the fourth quarter last year that brought this, spike in the business and did you do something different at the fourth quarter that is now showing up now?
I gotcha. Um, I
He
tried to be more
started working with his mother.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll do it.
I mean, that really does help because I'm having to, whenever she's asking me these questions, I'm like, man, I guess I need to probably be doing that too. And then my scripting gets better and just, I mean, that really has helped. Just having the additional, what you would call it. I haven't eaten anything for a week, you guys. Accountability.
Okay. Yeah.
But just kind of being consistent with my lead gen, um, on that and just it seemed like I had a whole bunch of stuff kind of piling up and then it all hit at once at the beginning of the quarter or the beginning of the year.
Right. Okay. Let me see. Okay, sorry. What about Marcia? Marcia, how do you feel about the market, about your business so far? 1 to 10.
I'd rather talk about last year. Last year was way better for me. This
Okay.
year is starting out, it started out nil. I mean, I had nothing going on. I do have 4 or 5 buyers going, but nobody has a real fire underneath them. This year has started out really slow and it's been a little bit discouraging. I do have some buyers. I'm trying to keep on them and keep pushing them in the right way. Um, and so, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So tomorrow I'm going to do my first round of pop buys and just kind of reconnect with my people on my top 40 list and do the things I'm supposed to be doing and get on it. So that's where I'm at on that. So
Well,
hopefully,
I I appreciate you saying that. So let me ask you this, kind of the same question that we had for Jake. I asked him, did he do some different activities in fourth quarter that showed up in first? And would you say that maybe how was your fourth quarter? Is this kind of connected to that? Maybe your activities or
It's definitely connected to my lack of activities.
lack of
Yes.
activities?
Yes.
Okay.
I had some pretty big personal things going on unexpectedly at the fourth quarter last year, and it kind of knocked the wind out of me. And then it was the holidays and all the other things that happened. And so, yeah, I really just lost all momentum. And it's like getting that steamboat boat going again. And it is a lot of dang work to, one, get your mind right, get some momentum going, and yeah, do the things. I feel like
Do the
I
things.
am starting from scratch again. And I will never let this happen again, ever, no matter what's going on, because that's hard to get momentum. So I'm working on it though. And I had a new client, or actually it was a kid that worked for us at the Cactus Shack. He reached out yesterday and he's all grown up now and he's ready to buy a house and land and all this stuff. So it's fun to see those things come about. But yes, it's been a slow year. I would give it a two so far.
Okay. Well,
That's where
hey,
it's at. So
I
yeah.
appreciate it. And honestly, Marcia, and I see McKay in the chat with her three. Honestly, we've all been at the two and the three at different points. We have. I've recreated or restarted my business a couple times. It happens. And so I'm glad that you're back on it. We're back at the Popeyes, back at it. That's what you got to do. And appreciate you doing that, jumping in and sharing that experience with us.
Well,
Um,
I appreciate that, and I appreciate Micaiah, just, everybody being truthful about where they are at, whether it's good or bad. I'm happy for you, Jake. And next year I will be in the same position, if not better. But yeah, the working on the mindset and keeping momentum is so important. I appreciate you saying that too, that, sometimes people have cycles that are up and down, and I'm pretty good about that, but I would like a little smoother ride, a little more steady, a little more, yeah,
That's
yeah.
usually
So
how my first quarters are. It seems, I was telling my mom this several times where I'm like, man, a couple of times a year I'll hit it and I'm like, maybe I just don't have it. I probably should just get a nine to
yep,
five.
yep,
Like
yep.
I guess I'm not meant for this. This is a couple times a year. And heck, I was talking to Lonnie. He said he'll do that too. He's like, okay, I guess I don't have it anymore.
Thanks for sharing that because I have struggled with that too. And I'm like, especially just being a single person, I'm solely responsible for everything that happens here.
Mm.
Myself, everything. And I was like, maybe I should get a regular job and be a regular person. And then I start choking and I can't breathe. And I'm like, no, get your ass to work and call your people, go do the things. But I have actually considered getting a steady job because I'm a single person, but I'm not ready to do that yet. That just is not, yeah. That
I
makes
feel
me
you.
sweat and makes me, yeah, I don't like
Don't give
that.
in to that, Marcia.
Okay. Thank
Don't
you
give in.
guys. I appreciate that.
I,
Like, yeah,
especially some people, especially don't make that decision in a time where you weren't doing the activities. It's when life gets
fair.
hard, we
Yep.
don't do the activities, that's when we bail. However, if we look at like, wait a minute, I am built for this. I am made for this. I have had better seasons. When I do the things I'm supposed to do, it works. And sometimes the job is an easy button, but it's also a
Ooh,
step backwards. It's a,
yes. I was
financially.
worried.
Go ahead.
Yes, and it would take my time and my distraction away from me, and it would provide me some sort of low level of comfort, but also a huge distraction from what I'm doing. But I do want to say and commend you guys for putting on a heck of a award ceremony. It was exactly what I needed that day to be reminded that I can do this. I've done this to a decent level, a high enough level for myself, and so that was a huge. I needed that day just to see that I can do this. And sometimes apparently, we all need that reminder sometimes because it's a tough business. And then if you let your mind slip or a couple of negative thoughts get in, and yep, and then you're starting to look at Indeed.com and be like, could I? No, I don't want to do that. So I appreciate you guys being real about that. And me too. Sometimes it's hard for me to talk when I'm in a struggling spot. I don't usually share that with people, so that I would just sit here, but I'm trying to dig my way out of that and get on track. 'Cause I'm going to be ready for ceremony for next year. I'll be sitting
Very
front
good.
row collecting the awards.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
I don't think I've gone a full year without thinking that at least once.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yep.
that.
That's
It's a scary thought, but it's like, no, I can do this. I can do this.
Jake,
I've done it.
did you say a year or did you say once a day? I didn't hear you. Once a day?
On what?
It just
Oh,
probably.
the thoughts? Yes.
Yeah.
Guys, those thoughts are
Yes.
going to creep in, man. They do. Like we're human beings, right? So like how do you go around that? Like I think Brandy talks a lot about this mindset and how we talk to ourselves is super important. And how we treat ourselves very poorly inside our own minds, and we should not do that. We got to give ourselves some grace at times. But I think just not comparing. What is it? Don't compare your inside with other people's outsides. Is that did I
Yes,
nail that?
that's
If I
right.
did,
Yep,
yeah,
that's the
the
bulldog.
thought
Yeah.
wise. Yeah. And so like don't do that because yeah, we've seen what you can do, Marcia, and you know what you can do. It's just a matter of you doing the thing and consistently jump on that focus call with us, man. I'm doing that with Brandy. I'm probably about a C, maybe C plus student in that call, but that's about what I was in school too. So I guess that's par for the course. But getting in there has given a level of confidence of making the phone calls, bouncing ideas off of each other, which is fantastic. Crystal's in there quite a bit as well, which I can appreciate it. So that's like it's awesome to see those guys jumping in and making those phone calls. I'm like, yeah, let's all do this together. And you're just watching, like we go mute and we just watch everybody knocking out phone calls. I pretend like I'm talking on the phone. Just kidding. I do my calls too. But it gives some accountability and it's helped out tremendously. It has. So give that a try if you're available at those times. And Brandy,
I will do that. I did it once or twice, but I didn't follow through because I wasn't in the right mindset. But now it's make the phone calls. Yes, I will be there. I think it's Mondays. Is that where you're at now?
Mondays
Mondays
and
at
Thursdays
11:30.
at 11:30. Mondays and Thursdays, 11:30 to 12:30. It's 1 hour. So,
Okay. I won't be there today. That's not an excuse. I am actually showing a house. So there's that. So I will be there Monday. Start Monday.
awesome. Awesome.
Thank
Well,
you guys.
I was
of
going to say
course.
one
And
more thing on that. If you guys, I know we're pretty good about focusing on the things that we do poorly, but sometimes we'll have a big closing and then it's 80 degrees outside and we're out golfing at noon on a Friday. I like to write those days down as well. So then when I am having a bad day, I can look back and be like, oh yeah, I made 20 grand that day and I got off at 11 to go play golf because I wanted to, or things like that. Just success, like days that you're like, man, I'm so blessed to be a realtor. I'm
Hmm.
I'm pretty good at this. Like I write those down because I forget those a lot faster than I forget man, I suck at this. So I
Yes,
write
those
those down in my notes in my phone on some
yeah.
of my good days.
That's a good reminder because boy, you can feel like you're on top of the world when things are going right in real estate, and it is such a great feeling. And then when it starts sliding downhill, then it drags you with a ball and chain and all the things and holds you down for a minute until you get back on track. So yeah, that's a good point. Those days feel awesome.
Yeah, you're like, hey, I had 3 closings today. Woo! And you're like, crap, I have nothing going on because all my stuff just closed. And then I start panicking.
There it
So
goes again. Yep.
yeah.
here's what I would say whenever anybody is tempted to go, I'm just gonna go get a job. I'm gonna go get a job. I'm gonna go have steady something. I would say pretend for give it a month. Pretend this is your job. Show up at
Yes.
8 a.m. Leave at 5 p.m. Do all the things. Stay busy. Take a lunch break, but stay busy. And I guarantee you, if you treat this like a job, it will pay you better than any job you could go find on Indeed. It will show up and it will work. And so, before you're tempted to leave and go get a job, let's make this your job. If you want to show up, I'll give you a time card to fill out. I'll let you fill it out. I'll collect it back from you at the end of the day or end of the week. And we'll if you want, I'll be your boss for a week or two and see if
Might
the
need that.
activities
Yep.
All right,
if the
Marshall, I'll give
activities
you
don't
not
show
boss
up.
Brandy.
$50,000 salary this year. Go and
if
sell houses
if
for me for
Lonnie
40 hours a
if
week.
if Lonnie was on here, I've heard him say multiple times he wished that he could have a time clock in the office for everybody that is there, to clock in and out to see how many hours they put in, to see the results of their time in the office and the productivity that they put in with the activities being in the office. So I think there's something to that for sure, which is why I show up usually from at least 9 to noon in the morning. And then I'm good to either go home and work at my desk and do more or work in the afternoon, showing houses or lead genning somehow. So,
Yeah.
Yes, I do believe that too. And actually, I had my own wake up call exactly about that. Um, because I actually did get offered a job, and it was it's at a vet clinic, which is right up my alley, but it's 10-hour days and you don't get any breaks. And I have a trip coming up to visit my daughter, and I don't want to have to ask somebody's permission for me to go visit my daughter. And I was like, that's 10-hour days. I could be working for myself. So thank you, Brandy, that it had just it did the same thing for me. And so, but I might need a time clock at your office just to be responsible. When I started realizing that, I'm like, what do I work my business? 2 or 3 hours a day, maybe? And but I'm willing to go work for somebody else for 10 hours a day, two 15-minute breaks. And then I have
Right?
to ask permission to go to the restroom. No, I can't. No. So yes, I'm putting it, I
Heck,
am
I'll
putting it
hire
down.
you for that, Marcia. You're gonna sell houses for me 10 hours a day. What are they paying you?
Marcia,
Not
you're
What's
enough.
your
late.
salary?
Get in
This
the
No,
sounds
I'm
like
late to
very
office.
work already.
profitable.
Yeah, so that did scare the heck out of
I've
me,
seen
actually.
your
I was like, I better
talent.
get
You're
somebody
working 10 hours a
here.
day. You're going to sell 1 billion houses.
Yes.
Jake will
Yeah,
give
now
you
I
three
got 9
bathroom
people
breaks.
holding me accountable to that too. So here I go. I'll bring the time
But see,
cards.
that's what a job is. It's accountability. You know,
Yes.
someone's waiting for you
Yep.
to be there. Someone's won't let you go. It's accountability. And so when it's kind of pushed on us and required, we're almost wired for that. We almost want somebody to tell us what to do and make somebody else responsible for our life. And then we get into this business going, I want the freedom. I want all that. And we do. And at the same time, we also shy away from that accountability. And who was it? Somebody, forgive me, I've already forgot who they said about accountability. That it's, and maybe I'm mixing my calls up, but anyway, how accountability is so, it like hurts so good. Like, I don't like it. I don't love it. I don't want it. I want to be free. I want to be whatever. But at the same time, having somebody, having accountability, whether it's a friend, whether it's a boss, somebody, accountability, there's something to that. There's something to that. And
Some something that I use, Brandy, is what you gave us is that activity sheet. It is part of my accountability of have I done the thing that I can do today? Rarely do I hit 30 points. But sometimes I hit 15, sometimes I hit 20, sometimes I do hit 30. But that is my, if you want to say, my time sheet. And I put them in my calendar, like planner thing. And I have one for every day of the week, Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturday, because I do open houses and stuff. But I can go back through then at the end of the month and go and see the activity that I've done.
right. Well, I love that. I love that you found a system that works for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we're all wired a little different, so you got to figure out. That's why I love these masterminds, is we get to hear what works for Crystal, what works for Marsha, what works for Jake, what works for Ryan and Paul, and what works for each one of us. Because something, I don't have a planner. I have plenty of paper everywhere. I don't have a planner. So I don't know if I would track that. I don't know if that would work for me.
Right. Yeah.
But I've got other things that work for me. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
putting myself out there to lead a focus group holds me accountable, because I promise you on Monday at 11:30, I've got about 14 other things I could be doing. But instead, I know that I've put myself out there. I've made myself accountable to this office and to you and to help you and to do it myself. And so my calendar gets cleared. I even have a company-wide call to be on from 11 to 12, and I cut it off. I watch it till 11:30 and I cut it off and I jump on this call with our office. And so all that to say that having that accountability ability changes my behavior in a good way. So all right, all right. I don't remember where we got off or where we took and
I
that's
think it was
good.
me and my
No,
3
it's
or my 2,
good.
whatever I got. But I appreciate all of that, you guys. So, and I will have no choice but to be accountable and do the right thing, because that's all it takes, is just get on track and do it. And so, thank you all for the advice.
Well, we don't want to see you behind the counter at a vet's office. How about that?
Yes, me neither. I thought it would be fun until she said 10-hour days and two 15-minute breaks, and you have to ask for those. And I'm like, oh, that's not gonna, no, that's
That's not going to
no,
work.
no.
See, and
All
Jake
right.
would
Can't
give
tell
you
me what
three
to do.
breaks, So
Jake will give you 3.
I'll give
yeah,
you
that way
three.
Right.
you can go pee 3 times, So
I'll be there on Monday morning, Jake.
Mhm.
7 o'clock
All
or
right.
6 o'clock.
Tell me
Yeah.
what your salary is. If you're working 10 hours a day, I'm pretty sure I can afford you. You're selling houses 10 hours a day.
There
Yeah.
you go. There you
Yeah.
go.
Well, we'll see.
Was anybody on, I don't know, was anybody at the Wealth Building Club last night? Wealth Building class with Matt Webb. Marsha was
Yes, I
here.
was there.
Maybe that's
It was
it.
really good.
Guys, you missed out. It was really, really good. It was really good. Matt brought his whole system. I don't know, Ryan, you know Matt a little bit. How old do you think he's under 40? Is he
He's
under
30,
35?
he's 30, 35 or 36, I think is what he told me this week when I met with him. And I was like, man, like, and I didn't know he was even that old. I just know he's a smart young man, very ambitious, moving extremely quick. And I won't spoil your thunder, but yeah, 35,
No.
36.
No, it was really good. And normally, and I'm not gonna do not count on this, but normally we don't record those classes. We want people to be in the room, but because Lonnie was gone and some other people just couldn't make it, we went ahead and did record. We recorded the session with his slides. He had great slides. He basically laid out the plan, and sometimes he might have been saying something that Lonnie's already said, or that Nate's already said, or somebody else has already said. But sometimes hearing it in a different way from a different person, from a different method, kind of hits home. And I think that's what happened for me. I was like, oh, we can do this. He made it so simple. And I'm sure it's not quite that simple because he put it all in 1 hour. However, we will post that recording in the group, so you guys can watch it later if you want to. And again, his slides were excellent. And the cool thing about Matt is he's a humble guy, and he's willing to take your call if you had an investing question. Or like one thing I ran by him is I have a listing coming up that this would be maybe perfect for, maybe not. I don't know. One of the things he said that it really kind of surprised me, and I won't, since most of us weren't there, I won't bore you with the details. But one of the things he said, and honestly, it took me a minute to figure out what he was even talking about. He said he underwrites houses before he ever buys one, and I'm like, wait, what does that mean? I know insurance people underwrite things, and title people underwrite things, and there's underwriters in the mortgage business. What do you mean you underwrite them? And so I figured it out just by context clues that he goes and runs scenarios. And he did that. He said you do that maybe even 100 times before you ever buy something, just to make sure. Basically, if I bought this house right here, what would I do to it? What would it cost? How long would it take me? How much money would I need? This, that, the other, and do that like 100 different times in your mind, or with chat GPT or whatever, and before you ever go out and do it. It's kind of like pilots are in a what do you call that when you go into a room simulator, in a simulator, kind of like an investor simulator, before you ever go out and do it and put real money out there. And so I thought that was a great tip. And so I was telling him about this listing I have, and I was like, it might be a great flip. I don't
I
know.
don't
He goes,
know.
well, I'll underwrite it with you. I'm like, okay, cool. So, might figure that out. But anyway, I would encourage you, when that thing hits the Facebook group, definitely watch it. How do we feel about that? About uh, investing? Is that on anybody's list? I want to learn how to flip, or I want to learn how to hold.
I had a
Is that
question
something?
about his actually on
Yeah.
the slideshow that I saw on here. It says that he does target is 35 flips a year.
Damn.
That's a
Yes.
pretty big crew of people taking care of that. How did he manage that?
He said, because we asked him that, how do you
And how many
find
does he have at a time?
that's a good question. Well, he wants to get rid of them every, what is it, 90 days
Yeah.
or
Mhm.
less. I think 60 days is what he'd rather do if possible. So I don't know how many he has at a given time, probably multiple, and he just oversees them. And he said that he's got some good crews that he found at Home Depot. So he goes and hangs out at Home Depot early in the morning. He knows the contractors that come in and out. He talks to the Home Depot workers to say, hey, who's your favorite person, and connects with them. Say, hey, does you and your crew want some work? And so that's where he's found his workers. So
Um, Crap, what was the other question I had? This, this is what happens when you don't eat for a week. Your mind just goes away. All right, come back to me later.
okay. No, we learned a lot of things like that. Like I never would have thought, like, to go to Home Depot, hang out at Home Depot. he buys all of his stuff. Like he's figured it out. Like
Oh,
he
I
actually,
remember.
go
Um,
ahead.
how much does he want to make per flip? If he's doing them in 60 days, he can't be doing huge rehabs. What do you want, like 25, 30 grand per flip, or does he have a percentage that he does?
It's on, hold on. I have
Hey,
minimum, he wants minimum profit of 40 grand.
Hmm.
He
He can make 40
targets,
grand in 60 days on these?
yep.
Where's he finding
He,
his properties at?
he's finding them all over the place. He said the MLS is one of the overrated places. He said everybody says, oh, you can't find them in the MLS. He says he finds a lot of them in the MLS. And he says he approaches them, and maybe he doesn't pay list price, but he approaches them he finds a house that's been sitting and finds out how he can solve a problem for them. You
Hmm.
know, what's their problem and how can he write an offer that satisfies the problem and it becomes a win-win.
Hmm.
So maybe you should, if you pick his brain sometime, Jake. I bet he'd have lunch with you. Um, you
I
know,
think he goes to my church.
I think he does. I think he
I'm
does.
one of 8,000 people. I can't believe I don't run into him all the time.
It's hard to
Right?
miss that guy.
Yeah,
He's only six
Yeah.
six.
yeah, he's a big
Yeah.
dude.
But going back to the question, because as a team leader, one of the things that I do, I don't know if y'all know about this, but I genuinely, Caesar and I love this office. And when I say I love this office, I'm not talking about the four walls. I'm not talking I love the carpet. What I'm saying is I love these people. I love all of our agents. Genuinely care about you all and your families and your stories and your, future generations. And I sit here and I learn and I'm always thinking about how do I bring value to you? How do I come and bring something that helps? And one of the things that I really and this is at the encouragement of my coach and at the encouragement of Gene Rivers is to really don't sleep on buying investment properties as a way to build wealth. I know we know that, but what are we doing about it? And so we heard, I think it was Josh Fife yesterday he told Matt, he said, yeah, it's on my goal. I want to buy an investment property this year. And Matt says, why by the end of the year? Why don't you do it sooner than later and maybe buy two or three this year? And so it was cool to hear another young man like just challenge that mindset like, oh, I hope to have one by the end of the year. Well, okay, what if you had two by the end of the year? And so I would like for all of us, and myself included, I'm putting myself I don't have any investment properties. I've never flipped a house, and it's on my list of things that I need to figure out this year. I will be figuring that out this year. Caesar and I are working on some things. But owning personal either owning something to hold or flip. And I like one thing that Matt said was because of the taxes, this is what I want. And maybe we want him to come back and talk to us about the tax implications of flipping and holding and how they're different. Because he figured out, he said he likes to flip two houses to get enough money to buy one to hold. Flip two, buy one, or hold one, flip two, hold one kind of thing. And that because if you hold them, you get to write things off and depreciate things and cost segregation, this, that, the other. I can't say I understand it all, but I am intrigued. And I see people like him that are doing big things and going, maybe that's not what I need to do. Maybe I don't want to buy 35 flips this year, but let me start with one. Let me do one. Let me
That's a
do two.
conversation I have a lot with my investors. They all want to buy and fix and rent a house, and then they're all out of cash, and then they can't buy any more houses, and then I'm no longer of use to them until 2 years from now until they save up enough cash to do it again. But if I tell them if we do flip, usually I tell them to flip three because they don't normally make 40,000 on their first flip. But if you flip two or three and then you hold one, that's a good way. Us as realtors, we get two or three transactions and then they're building wealth and we get to help them. And that's a conversation I have with my investors all the time. Instead of buying and holding your first one, let's buy and flip and get you some cash, and then buy and flip, get you some more cash, and then buy and hold. And now we still have cash to where we can go buy and flip. Because if you buy and hold, you got to think of your opportunity cost. What are you giving up to hold that property? So if that stops the whole flow completely, we're not going to be able to buy any more investment houses. If we keep this house, then that's probably not a great hold. But if we sell that house, and selling that house gives us the ability to go buy another house, which gives us the ability to go buy another house, which gives us the ability to hold that house and go buy another house, then that's a much better opportunity than saving up all our money, spending it all on that house, and then that's it. One single transaction.
You
So
know, something to consider. If you're ever at the MLS office for a class, on the back wall, there's information about MAREI, the Mid-America Association of Real Estate Investors. I joined it over a year ago and been to 2 meetings, so I'm not really an active member getting the most out of it. But there's over 5,500 real estate investors in it. They send out emails regularly, like this one was on March 2nd. It's got off-market properties. It's got other ones that would be great for flipping and stuff. And, it's got a dozen or more in this particular email. Some are pending at this point. But and they have meetings on a regular basis or educational, like there's one about landlord stuff in KCMO. If you've seen any of that, that's been a pain in the ass. They're at a meeting or this email here to buy a house for $1,000 a month, and it has good information there, all kinds of information. Are you building your real wealth? These are just subject lines from emails. And there's all kinds of good information, and you pay, I think it's $150 a year to be a member. So it's not expensive. They have monthly meetings. They also have like open house ones where they'll have different vendors and service, home service professionals and lenders, hard money lenders, all kinds of stuff available. So just a thought.
Love it. I love it. And that's why we need to have more of these conversations, because there's so much we don't know, and there's people out there winning the game. And we're all realtors. We're all competitive. We want to win. And the cool thing is we all can win. I love that Matt was willing to come and share, because, he said YouTube was his mentor. He just watched everything on YouTube and learned from there. So grateful that people will share their secrets. Tim says it all the time. Lonnie says it all the time. It's a KW phrase. Well, it's not even KW. It's around KW. Success leaves clues. If you see somebody that's doing things at a high level that you want to do, watch their life, listen to what they say, watch what they do, watch their activities, watch what they're posting, and maybe invite them to lunch, pick their brain. I posted something on my own personal Facebook page on Sunday, and I shared it with the ALC the other day. Where's it at? The fastest way to accelerate your career is to work with people who are 10 steps ahead of you. Their normal is your exceptional. Osmosis is real, and proximity to excellence makes you excellent. Find the best people and figure out how you can work with them. That goes for anything in life. If you're not super happy with where you're at in life, maybe you're in the wrong rooms, as far as like, maybe you should look at who you're surrounding yourself with. If you're the biggest person in the room, find another room. Find a room. Now, this can go, like I say, this can go for business. Obviously, it's about business. We're talking business, but it's about life. It's about, if you want your health to be better, go find somebody who's living a healthy lifestyle and go learn of their ways. Learn how they do things, learn how they think, learn what they eat, learn why they do what they do. Same thing with any part of on that life wheel. There's like, what is it, 7 different areas of life. If there's somebody that's doing social things at a high level, then you want to bump that up. Go follow them. I look at Nanette. Nanette is she went to plant bingo. They went to bingo to earn plants. And I thought that sounded awesome. I've never been to plant bingo, but for something, I was like, that's fun on a random Monday night or whatever. What am I even doing with my life if I'm not at plant bingo? But
And interestingly, she hates plants. She doesn't want anything to do with plants. She doesn't like to
She
keep
says
them
they're
alive. She doesn't
networking.
have any interest in plants at all, but she has interest in clients.
Exactly. And she's out there networking and she's putting herself out there and she's getting out with people. And then I noticed she's posting something about Bunko for $10 and I got $10. Where do we go? I'm ready for Bunko. I may be the youngest one in the room, but okay. I don't know. I'm just saying I love learning from other people, and get into business with people or get around people that are doing things 10 steps ahead of where you are, and learn from them and watch. And it's got to work. It will work if you watch and learn and take in and grow, and it will work.
Yeah, you could maybe even find someone who's done some flips and meet with them and see about partnering on one. Figure out how you're going to contribute and what you might learn from them. And I don't know. I think there's opportunities there too.
Sure. Sure. For sure. All right. All right. What else do we got going on? It's 10:37. It's been great conversation. Oh, there's a hi. Who's that?
Our newest agent.
I
Oh, let's
believe
get her
her
in here.
parents are closing with
Oh,
Josh
Josh's
back here.
baby.
So she came to say hi. Can you say hi? I don't know her, but she's cute as a bug.
hi,
Natalie. Oh,
Natalie.
cute as a bug, isn't she? Yeah. I think she's busy now. You want to get
Oh,
down?
Her
gotta
mommy and
go.
daddy needed a bigger house. That's why they're closing
Yeah.
today.
Very good. Well, what else do we have? What challenges, what problems? Let's mastermind together. Let's help you solve what you got going on.
Well, I have a question.
Okay.
I had my listing right now, and I think I've got it solved, but I just curious. I, I'm always curious about Trisha's thoughts because she's very straightforward, I think, about these things. So picture the master bedroom, the bed's never made and covered with clothes all the time, and just chaotic closets and most flat surfaces having things on them. So we're 6 days from listing, from going live. And so I had a stager come in and just do a consult with us yesterday to try to, and I'm like over there every other day. We're like, and I make little piles. I'm like, just okay, so this pile, and I made her a checklist. I'm like these things, every flat surface, blah, blah, blah. And just an interesting example. So on one of the door going into the master bedroom on the door jamb, there's a light scuff about this long, light scuff. I wouldn't have even noticed it. On the white paint, it's a little gray, but I mean, very faint, about this long. She's the other night that she wanted to work on that. And I said, your bedroom, I gestured to all the clothes on the bed. I said, we cannot show it like this. We can show it with this little scuff on the paint. We cannot show it like this. So we have to focus on what we have to do. And she goes, well, I don't want to show it with that little scuff. I'm like, so we can though, because most people aren't going to notice that, but they're going to notice your underwear all over the bed. So I I've walked with her and helped her and I think we're going to be okay, but I just didn't know what you guys do when you encounter honestly just someone that's very, very sloppy. Like it's a nice house. It's in Lee Summit, nothing wrong with the house. It'll I think come together, but helping her to like she thought the checklist was going to be two or three things. I made it for her. It was 16 things. She's like, 16. I'm like, yes, all these things need to be done. Pick up this room, put that laundry up, clean up that bathroom. And so I don't know. I was just curious how you guys kind of handle that.
All right, Trisha.
Well,
And it was your stager, Trisha, that came over and gave us a consult.
oh, good.
So
He's
he was
great.
wonderful.
Yeah, he's amazing. That's
Yeah,
good. He's super talented, and maybe he can help um, tell them,
right.
this is what we can't work with. I've had this happen a couple of times, and I'll be honest, I actually told them, hey, pictures are on Wednesday. So on Monday, I'm going to come, and my gift to you is going to be 5 tubs, and I'm going to fill them up for you. And I actually went through their bedroom and shoved everything in tubs, snap libbed on it, and put it in the garage. I just,
Yeah,
I'm like, if you need it, it's out there. And so I'm like, because I'm willing to come. It didn't take me but an hour because I don't
right.
care what it looks like if you weren't ready. So I told them, hey, if you don't want it locked up in the garage, you need to have it put away where I can't see it because everything else I see that's going to interfere with me getting you the top dollar, I'm going to hide for you.
Mm,
And I just buy those $8 tubs at
yeah.
Lowe's, and I literally just go in every room and start putting it in there. And now
And
when
she
I
has
go to
tubs
take their
everywhere.
pictures,
Yeah,
that's when I can hide like soap or whatever, the little thing.
right.
But everything that's on top of the stuff, I put in those tubs and have them carry them to the
Okay.
garage. So I'm like, hey, this is my gift to you. This is what you hired me to do,
Yeah.
was to get you top dollar for your property. So I'm going to show up 2 days before pictures. So if you don't want it packed, you need to have it put away.
Okay.
And then what wasn't put away, I'm like, hey, you can go get a coffee or sit in the other room because I'm just going to go through here and start putting it in there. And that's what I've done. And I've done it twice. And they're like, wow, it's not what I expected. And I'm like, nope, obviously, because I gave you what was kind of expected. I even sent you some like photos.
Yes, we did that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So the few things I leave that I know they probably need, like their medications on the countertop, I'm like, you don't want medications, toothbrushes, all this stuff laying out when we come through for
Yeah.
photos. Yeah. So those things I can hide day of. If I can hide it in the cabinet day of, sometimes I think I can hide a toothbrush somewhere, and then you open their cabinets and realize there's nowhere for a toothbrush to go. I
That's
don't,
exactly what I'm running. Yeah, every space.
yeah,
That's, yeah, good point. We've spent a couple days packing up, cleaning up, moving stuff. We had some junk takeaway people yesterday, so we're making progress for
that is
sure.
progress.
And
And
I'm proud of her for doing that, but it's like, gosh, she just doesn't see it. I'm like, how do you not see?
they don't because they don't. I think my husband could not see, and he would be fine not seeing, but he lives with me.
Yeah,
So the other thing I've encouraged them to do is to put a tub, a box, and a trash bag in every room, and they have to fill all three. The tub is moving with them, the box is donating, the trash bag is trash.
I like
They
that.
do that in every room. They really get a good, like I tell them, don't leave until these are completely full.
Yeah,
You can fill them.
I like that. That's a
But
good
put
idea.
one
I
in
like that.
every room before I show up because when I show up, it's going in tubs and going in the garage.
Yeah. Okay.
And just
Thank you. I like
remind them,
that.
you will have maybe 30 days to have this gone. Like,
Yeah.
take time now. So, good luck. It
Thanks.
takes a little extra work, but it makes,
Yeah.
selling
Yeah.
selling it for a higher dollar works in my favor in the long run.
So do you
Something,
guys find that most people do clean up? I'm just curious because I've only had a couple listings. I'm like, do most people clean up or is this going to be my experience every time?
depends.
Set the expectation right up front. You
Thought
have
I
to do that.
did, but yeah,
And
clean
review it.
cells.
The
Yeah.
checklists are really good. Go over some of those items. If you're in a dirty house, a lot of people are like, what's the most important thing that I can do to get top dollar for my house and
Yeah.
remodeling like kitchens and bathrooms, like all that? Yeah, set that all aside real quick. Cleanliness is
Right.
the godliness. And if you just had your house not just clean, I talk about sanitized because that's a
Yeah.
different thought
We're
right
having
there.
it professionally cleaned.
Some people think clean is clean, but it's not. Sanitized, you know what's happening when you're sanitizing stuff. And I'm like, hey, you may need some help. And we've got people that we can get you in contact with that will sanitize your house for you because we know you're going to be out of energy after you pick up all your stuff and fold your
Yeah.
underwear. Are you folding their underwear for them too? Because I don't think my clients want me folding their underwear. I don't know.
I
Um,
don't hold anything.
Thank you.
I
You just
take the whole
stuff it.
I'll wrap the whole cover up and shove it in the tub and put a new one on it. I'm like, I'm
I feel like
not
I
messing
get fired
with
if I did that.
That's
You're so
why I try to channel my inner Trisha.
I tried. I told them I'm
stick her
coming
with you.
through. So I don't know if I will say photographs are great. Like I'll take pictures the day I'm there and then I'll send them, hey, like I'll circle everything on the top of the refrigerator and I'll be like, send me a picture when this is gone. And then they'll know.
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
don't know if you can see this, but yeah, that's the bedroom.
yeah, yeah. So just
Upload
having
it to Chat
a picture.
GPT, that exact photo, and say, clean
Oh,
this room up, and then send her a photo and say, this is what it needs to look like.
that's a great idea.
When you're showing them comps, show them the
Right.
ones that have great pictures.
Yes.
So
That's
you
what I
can
said.
say,
Here's what we
this
need it
is
to
what
look
it needs
like.
to look like. See how this house
Yeah.
got top dollar?
Yeah.
This is how it looked. How do you think yours looks compared to that? And
It's so interesting though, if they're a sloppy kind of person like that. Like I've shown her those things and I feel like it just doesn't absorb.
well, that carries
She's
over.
artistic.
That carries over to maintenance in our houses too. How many of you guys
Yes.
have a door or a cabinet or drawer that doesn't close quite right, or something little like that you just dealt with for years, and then we tell people fix all your shit before you sell your house next week. They put it off for a long time, and I mean we got a door that doesn't latch right, one that sticks. We all typically have stuff like that we just don't think about because we just get used to it. And I think they all It's the same thing. You just get used to the stuff and you adapt. But sorry.
Hmm. Yeah, it does reflect maintenance, I think. Yeah, that's a good point too. Like people assume well kept is well kept. Yeah.
Yep. I also tell people like, hey, you're moving anyway. Let's pack everything up. Everything that you don't need for the next 30 days, 60 days, let's pack it up and get it to the garage, storage unit, wherever we're putting it. But let's get it packed up. It's going to help you in the move. It's going to help us. It's going to just be a win-win-win. I know it's a lot more work for you up front, but it's going to pay off. So sometimes, like you're saying, Stacy, some people don't know what clean is. And here's the other thing
Right.
that I've run into. Different cultures have different
Mm.
ideas of what is clean or what smells good or what's appropriate or whatever.
Mm.
Different cultures, and so they don't understand when we say, hey, can you clean this place up? They're like, I did. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, you did, okay. How about a broom? You got a broom? Can I borrow it? Can I, let me just, but it's hard to not be offensive either. So
Hmm.
you just have to tread lightly and do the best you can. But I
You
have
can
moved crap out of people's, to make the pictures look really good. Worst thing I probably ever, not for this one particular house I had listed during COVID in Lee Summit, great house. Anyway, I had the pictures looking amazing because me and the photographer moved all this crap out, took a picture, put it back, and all that stuff. And the pictures were amazing. And I showed that house 60, 70 times
Mm.
and they wouldn't drop their price. But also people would say the feedback was, well, the pictures look better than it does in person. Hey, there's a showing today at 3. Can you make sure your teenagers don't make it look like they had a party in the basement? Because they would do that. I'm like,
Mm.
that's, and they were of a different culture than I am. Fine. And they just didn't see what I was saying,
Yeah.
you know? And so
you
that was
know
a challenge for me.
you can also send them a moving kit from Amazon, like $60. They get bubble
Oh.
wrap, tape, boxes. You ship it like a gift. You can put a card, say, hey, this is from
Yeah.
Paul or whatever. Helps them get motivated. So we've sent those to clients frequently. And since $50, here's something to, hey, get started, in a subtle, nice way. But
One more
Yeah.
thought on that is I was in a house just last night and I should have known. I mean, I knew that we were watching this house, waiting for it to come on. Cute house, 325,000 in Lease Summit. My people were waiting for it to come on and I knew it was going to be a crazy. And sure enough, I'm following my directions on my Google Maps. As soon as I turned onto their cul-de-sac, the line of my Google Map, my Apple Map turned yellow, which meant traffic. And I'm in a cul-de-sac in a neighborhood, and I was like, "Oh, here we go." So before I even got around the corner to see how far this thing was backed up, and my clients are already there going, "Is this an open house?" And I'm like, no, this is just one of those hot new listings that everybody wants to come see. And not that we're supposed to do this, but it does happen when realtors just pass the key from realtor to realtor. The lockbox doesn't even get locked up. And I know that's wrong, and that's what was happening. And we were at this house, and we're walking around, people, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, and all of that. And I was shocked that this house was so cluttered with crap. It was a cute house. It was decorated well, but nobody had taught them to pull, like, hey, instead of having piles and stacks of stuff against the wall, let's box all that up in Trisha's tub and get rid of it. And so these people are in there going, "Oh, look, they have kids. Look at the stars and the glow in the dark, this, that, the other." I'm like, "Look at the house. Do you see this room doesn't have baseboards? What's under these rugs in the bedrooms? What are we hiding?" That's where we come in to go, okay, let's look past the crap. Let's look past the stuff and look at the actual house, not how cute the bedroom and the nursery is. And so, as realtors, if we're on the buyer side, that's what we got to try to look past the stuff. And I said, "Oh, and by the way, did you notice that there's different flooring in every single room of this house? Different carpet, different tile, different linoleum, laminate, hardwood. We had it all in that house. Again, super cute, but these are things that you don't see. And when they move all that stuff out, the house looks completely different, you know? So as a listing agent, it's good for us to help. Well, I don't know if it's a turd of a house. Maybe we put all this, maybe we bring in more stuff. I don't know. Never done that before. But okay, good. We still have 9 minutes. What else? Who else has got something you want to mastermind with us?
It's also a great time of year to make sure the front of the house, the outside looks good too, since we're talking about the inside. You know, 20 bucks or 50 bucks on fresh mulch and maybe some flowers or something can make a good impression. And get that coffee can of cigarette butts off the front porch. So,
And
so
take down the Christmas wreath.
yeah, that too. That
Yes.
too. So,
I was going to say too, especially with people that are moving, grass grows pretty quick this time of year. So if your people are moving a couple weeks before closing, that's something we'll have to start worrying about now as well. Keeping that yard maintained on our listings.
and take down the political signs in the front yard or wherever too. So,
All good tips. Good tips. Um, hmm. This is kind of little. But I have had something that's come up a couple times on my last two listings. So the last two listings I've taken, the people weren't ready to go on the market right away, but that's okay because I love coming soon. I love doing coming soons. Love it. And so I was okay with that. And so both of these people actually were not living in the house at the time, and they actually lived out of town, um, or would be living out of town by the time we go live. So I had to think to myself when I'm taking the listing, what's the go live date? And so I said, hey, let's just put a date in there that you think it will be ready by. And if we get ready sooner, we'll just go live sooner. And if you're not quite ready, we'll just push it back. No big deal, right? So we pick a date. Well, on one instance, I should say, the other one's still coming soon. But the first one came soon, was coming soon. It was supposed to go live on a Saturday. Don't you know, we got an offer on it on Thursday. And so, which is great, but it was sight unseen. And my sellers didn't feel comfortable taking it had they not seen the house yet, because they don't want to go pending, take the offer, and then the people do their inspections, they back out, and now we have an inspection report and it's fallen out of market before it ever really hit the market or should have hit the market. So the sellers decided I would really feel better if they could go see the house. Well, yeah, let's do that. Well, just so you know, I have to kick it live and make it go live for everybody to go see the house if they want to. So we did that. We made it go live 2 days sooner than what our exclusive right to sell said. No big deal, except, I didn't realize that I probably should have done a change form to get that pushed. So I'm having to go back and I'm doing that because I thought it used to say, and Ryan, you might know, Paul, you may know, those of us, I thought it used to say it would go on the market on or before a certain date. Well, it doesn't say that anymore. It says it still implies that, but it doesn't say on or before. So I learned something this week that I need the change form to make it go live sooner. I knew I needed it to go live later, but I didn't know I needed it to go live sooner. So
something to consider with those sight unseen offers.
Mhm.
You could say we want you to make a non-refundable earnest deposit, and they may not want to do it at that point sometimes. So, but just a thought.
Well, what I learned from that situation, as watching this go down, I saw a buyer's agent not wait for it to go live. He knew it was going live on Saturday. We were actually ready sooner, so it was okay. But he showed up Thursday with an offer saying, we'll take it sight unseen. We ended up making it go live because we wanted him to see it, obviously. But what ended up happening, and he brought a great offer. So it went under contract that 5 hours later, and nobody else saw the house. They were the only people because their buyer's agent was proactive, approached, there was probably other people waiting for Saturday, and now they missed a great house. So just something to think about. If your people have their eye on something coming soon, maybe don't wait. Maybe just talk. Maybe they're willing to make an offer sight unseen and see if the seller will take it, with the idea that they could back out at inspections or whatever. So I thought that was kind of cool. And if that ever fits, I'll probably use it for my buyer. But you all are probably doing that anyway. So, all right, we got 4 minutes. What else? What
I
else?
have a little, maybe it's a thought because then don't take it as fact. Maybe that's what I'm going to say. You can create a change form that says I'm going active. However, my seller does not want it put on the MLS. So in they don't want it to show on the MLS. So, but if you're already in coming soon, I don't know. But I do know that I was presented an offer once that we preferred them to see, and Darren helped me understand. Now, is it a little gray and you have to be careful? Probably so. I'm sure there's a black and white way, but it was like my seller's willing. So it did have to go active, but we were allowed to keep it off the MLS for the day and it go fully active and on the MLS the next day. But it did give that agent that day to show their clients and submit an offer before everybody else knew. So as a buying agent, I didn't love it on the seller side, but on the buyer side, is that a proposition we could make to someone? Here's the offer my clients are willing to make if you go active, not visible on the MLS for the first day that we can see it, and then our offer will be in hand. I don't know how to work all that, but it's something worth maybe investigating as a buyer's agent.
Well, let's get Darren's take on that for sure, because I don't know how you go active without it being on the MLS. I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, I think the way it was done in the past, I don't think it's changed, is it has to be within your office. I forget what they call it, but
Private office listing?
yeah. I don't think you can just distribute it or market it to agents elsewhere. I think it's got to be someone within your office, at least initially. So I definitely double check that.
Yeah, there is a way to do it that it's just within your brokerage, your office. So I don't know. This person wasn't in my office. So there's something there. I'm like, that's why I said this isn't a fact, but it is a fun thought. We could figure it out on how to present an offer on a property you know your clients are been watching, following, really interested in. But there you go.
Yeah, I think that's part of the clear cooperation. It has to be accessible to everyone or no one. So except for the private office listing, but Ryan may know more on that.
So. Well, maybe we can ask Darren to speak to that at our team meeting on Tuesday and just clear that up. Because if there is something there, let's all learn it. And
but it also does take away from the whole reason of the MLS. So I can see why it might not be right. That's why I said it's a thing worth digging into that I don't have the facts on.
Sure.
Fun thoughts with Trisha. I like it.
Aren't we getting audited right now?
He's going to know where this conversation came from, and he's going to go, what the heck? That is not what I said.
Darren's going to say, one time I'm not on the call, and y'all just run this thing off in the ditch, all right?
I don't know. Sometimes I have to try to be creative, and so I ask Darren things, which he will then say, oh my gosh, let me think about it. And then he says, no, don't do that. So,
been there. So.
All right. Well, we're here at the 1 minute mark. I'm going to tell you that we have a CE class here at the office tomorrow. If you've already signed up for it and you're on the list, otherwise it's full. Becca posted the list of who is signed up yesterday on Facebook. Be here right at 10 a.m., maybe even a little before. Be here at 10 and do CE tomorrow. Next week, we have team meeting. There's a dot loop class on Monday with Hannah. She's going to teach you all about how to create templates, how to make folders through dot loop. Tuesday is team meeting and a lunch and learn Tuesday with Ryan Couvert, learning how to edit videos and make reels on Instagram and Facebook. So a post will go out. You can RSVP for that. So we have enough lunch for everybody.
Cool.
All right.
Hey, tomorrow morning, just so you know, 5 teams hosting a coffee for the Belton and Raymore Chambers. It's open to the public. If you guys want to stop in, you're more than welcome at 7:30 to 9. So parking lot might be full if you get there early, but there'll probably be at least 40 to 50 people with the 2 chambers. So just FYI.
Awesome.
So.
All right. Lots of good stuff going on. All right. It's a beautiful day. Let's go sell something. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Freddie.